You are now about to get into the Script Talk podcast on Truth Music Radio. Let's get it.
I rep ENT. I rep ENT. I rep ENT. I-Star. I rep ENT.
Tryna save the fam from the lake of fire. Tryna save my friends from the lake of fire. Tryna save you from the lake of fire. Julia, how are you sitting higher? Tryna save my fam from the lake of fire. Tryna save my friends from the lake of fire. Tryna save you from the lake of fire.
I-Star.
Julia, how are you
Trying to save the fam from the flames and lake of fire. There's literally nobody, just little Ezariah. Took heed from Jeremiah, Ezra, Hezekiah, Samuel, Nehemiah. I'm leaning on the rock, just how they killed Zechariah. Sovereign is the king and our savior is the sire. To join your house, we do invite you. They conquered and divide us. Sold us in the bondage, used to buy us. With piracy, they buy us. Stole us from our climates, infected us with virus. They keep us at the bottom to incarcerate the highest. They profit as they plotting our demises, dividing up the pie crystal. Wam Yasharal and Yahoo to our highness, the highest.
Tryna save the fam from the lake of fire. Tryna save my friends from the lake of fire. Tryna save you from the lake of fire. Julia, how are you sitting higher? Tryna save my fam from the lake of fire. Tryna save my friends from the lake of fire. Tryna save you from the lake of fire.
I-Star. I rep ENT. That's I rep ENT.
You can lead a horse to the water. Yeah. Can't make it drink.
No, you can't. No, you can't.
I can give you all the information.
All the information.
I can't make you think. Tell me if you peep how the wicked kill the weak. Cry about the cops, kill your own bruh in the streets. Broadway, they there on Sunday. Tickets to hell, they just waiting in the runway. Gunplay, lot of dirty things, grimy schemes. Yeah, how was shy? Only one can redeem. Got a thirst after righteousness like a fiend. Then dipped in his blood, made clean. Yahadim.
Tryna save the fam from the lake of fire. Tryna save my friends from the lake of fire. Tryna save you from the lake of fire. Julia, how are you sitting higher? Tryna save my fam from the lake of fire. Tryna save my friends from the lake of fire. Tryna save you from the lake of fire.
I-Star.
Julia, how are you sitting
I
higher?
rep ENT.
Truth Music Radio is the #1 hottest source of truth music. Come see what all the fuss is about. Every Sunday from 6 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, Zebediah Boaz will be bringing y'all evening meditation. Mondays from 7 to 9 p.m. DJ Taz Stewart will be on the ones and twos. Tuesdays and Thursdays from 6 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, Moshe Yehuda will bring you truth music, scripts, and world events. Wednesday from 5 to 7, your sister, Ray Chantel, will be bringing you Sister Talk every Wednesday. Every Friday, tap in to Truth, Love, and Redemption with Dimitri Milligan from 6 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Don't forget about me, your op, Brandon Lewis, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 a.m. We'll be bringing you the Script Talk podcast, all on Truth Music Radio. The Z is for Zion, powered by the Most High, J Shields Promotions, RayGraphics.com, and Yasharala Nation. Zion, spread the message. Download the app for free for Apple devices and Android. Shalom.
It's your you the black. Coat this, devil that, like your eyes all black. And you feel me right now, cause what I'm saying all facts. Pray they see the light, it might not be their time yet. Even as an adolescent, had a different mindset. Never cared for the club, you rather go relax. Unplug from the matrix, nature so detached. You ain't into all the trends like your friends. You gon' do your own thing, stay in your own lane. You gon' fly your own plane. There's the trait of a leader, don't let them tell you different. Captain of the ship, responsible for all decisions. Can you handle that? Granted down your heart, melted tears dripping like it's candle wax. All your troubles meant to shape you into mold you. In the Most High's army, you enlisted as a soldier, ain't a better place. Lawyers, friends with the judge know how these devils play. Every show on television show you something gay. Heart of gold, silver line seeker. Your kind hard to find. You that needle in a stack of hay. Reprobates hate the light, wanna break the lamp. They thinking NBA and NFL. You thinking tanks and concentration camps. Microchips, John 7:38. You dispelling all type of mills. The truth. Your friends ain't your friends no more. And your kin ain't your kin no more. Since you came into the truth. Family became distant. It's like everything different since you came into the truth. Your friends ain't your friends no more. And your kin ain't your kin no more. Since you came into the truth. You forced to be alone, but it only makes you stronger. See the truth, it'll isolate you. So strong it'll make those you've known to like you hate you. You understand this ain't a religion, this your nation. You Israelite by nature. Your bloodline traces back to Jacob. Your spot was the spot they all chillin' ate. Now they don't even call your phone to check if you're straight. But it's a blessing, the unveiling of the real and fake. Help you put two and two to let you know who is who. Thought he'd never leave your side. Matthew chapter 10, verse 35 through 39. Read that. I feel your pain, you need consoling. One of a family, two of a city. You were chosen. This walk ain't peaches and cream. Tulips or roses. You leading the fruit souls of your household. Imagine Moses. Ain't no sense in looking back. Keep the commandments and the faith until the casket closes. Since you came into the truth, your friends ain't your friends no more. And your kin ain't your kin no more. Since you came into the truth, family became distant. It's like everything different since you came into the truth. Your friends ain't your friends no more. And your kin ain't your kin no more. Since you came into the truth. You forced to be alone, but it only makes you stronger.
Shalom, shalom to the brethren, man. What up to everybody else? Listen, this y'all Brandon Lewis. I just want to take this time to tell y'all, man, hit that like button, man. For those of y'all joining me on YouTube and Facebook and Hebrew Connect, hit that like button, man. It ain't gonna cost you nothing to hit. It ain't gonna cost you nothing to like the channel, to comment, subscribe, to follow. It ain't gonna cost you nothing, man. So go ahead and push that button Hit that notification bell, man, so you can be notified when it's time to go live. Don't rob your brother of his likes and his subscriptions. Shalom.
Shalom. Shalom, shalom to the brethren. And what up to everybody else? This is your Ak B. Lou, and this is the Script Talk Podcast. Shalom, sis. Oh, well, hold on. Let me see. Might not be a sis. I'm not sure. Devion. Oh, yeah. It's a Denise. Devion Denise Murphy. Shalom for joining podcast on YouTube. Shout out to everybody else who will join. Shout out to everybody out there in Radio Land on Truth Music Radio. That's music with a Z. That's the Z. It's for Zion. All right, this is Script Talk Podcast once again. And D Nice. Oh, my bad. It's D Nice. Okay, still greetings. Peace and many barakahs to you and your family and to all of the listeners. Today we're going to be getting into the book of Deuteronomy, chapters 21 and 22. Let's get right on into it. Let me get my screen shared up for those in video land on the streaming platforms. Deuteronomy chapters 21 and 22. We're going to be talking about some Torah law. Everybody, talks about laws, statutes, and commandments. Well, let's get into some. If one be found slain in the land which the Most High thy power giveth thee to possess it, lying in the field, and it be not known who had slain him, the elders and thy judges shall come forth, and they shall measure unto the cities which are round about him that is slain. And it shall be that the city which is next unto the slain man, even the elders of that city shall take an heifer which hath not been wrought with, and which hath not drawn in the yoke. And the elders of that city shall bring down the heifer unto a rough valley, which is neither eared nor sown, and shall strike off the heifer's neck there in the valley. So, one of the main things that kind of caught me is that this heifer has to be unused in labor, right? Not been wrought with, or have not drawn in the yoke, not put any kind of you know, tools on it to for any kind of work, right? And then the field also could not have been used in any kind of work. It says, which neither eared nor sown. So no crops were grown in the land, right? And strike off the heifer's neck. And the Kohanim, or the priests, the sons of Levi, shall come near. For them the Most High thy power hath chosen to minister unto him, and to Baruch in the name of the Most High. And by their word shall every controversy and every stroke be tried. And all the elders of that city that are next unto the slain man shall wash their hands over the heifer that is beheaded in the valley. And they shall answer and say, our hands have not shed this
blood, neither have our eyes seen it. Be kind, O Creator, unto thy people, Yasharal, whom thou hast redeemed, and lay not innocent blood unto thy peoples, unto thy people of Yasharal's charge, and the blood shall be forgiven them. So shalt thou put away the guilt of innocent blood from among you, when thou shalt do that which is right in the sight of the Most High. So, as we see in our mind, right, we'd say, well, somebody killed them. It's all bad, but we feel for them and just and just bury them and be done with it. The Most High's like, no, you don't just bury them and be done with it. You gotta offer a sacrifice, and you gotta offer a sacrifice through the Levites, and everything has to be done a certain way. Everything is particular, right? There's a certain order and a certain structure that our people had in the land that he decreed these types of orders. And today, there's not a lot of order today. Even in the awakening, it's not a lot of order in all things, right? Because this is something you would think of as being just an accident, not something that need a lot of intricate things behind it. But these men had to go and measure to each of the closest cities to find out which one is the closest. They had to find certain kind of land. They had to find a certain kind of animal to make an offering. They had to all come together and pray. And it's like we today, even in places where it is, groups that have elders and have, you know, ministers of this and ministers of that, or overseers of this and overseers of that. How intricate is it? How detailed is it? And does it address every matter? Hey man. My son just woke up. Come here. How intricate is it? Does every detail get discussed? Does every detail gets checked? Does every line gets crossed and every T get dotted, right? 9. So shalt thou put away the guilt of innocent blood from among you, when thou shalt do that which is right in the sight of the Most High. It seems as if the Most High is requiring some type of recognition of this man and the wrong that's been done. He don't just want you to just bury him and to be done with it. He wants to see some mourning. He wants to see some show of consideration for this slain man, you know. And he said, this is right in the sight of the Most High. How often in today's time do we just disregard death because it's so common now? It's so put in our face that we don't even consider it. You know, King David, there was certain times that people died that he, mourned behind it, and it's like, it's that consideration. It's that consideration that we need today. Man. Poop, boy. It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. Hold up. Hold up. It is poop. Oh, wee. 10. When thou goest forth to war against thine enemies, and the Most High thy power hath delivered them into thine hands, and thou hast taken them captive, and seest among the captives a beautiful woman, and hast a desire unto her, that thou wouldest have her to thy wife. Then thou shalt bring her home to thine house, and she shall shave her head and par her nails, and she shall put the raiment of her captivity from off her, and shall remain in thine house, and bewail her father and her mother a full month. Now, I want to point out something, because it's a lot of brothers today use this to marry women from the other nations, and it's like this. First of all, they said in war, right? Second of all, it says, and bewail her father and her mother a full month. You notice it didn't say her husband, right? It don't say she shall bewail her husband. And after that, thou shalt go in unto her and be her husband, and she shall be thy wife. So this is speaking of a virgin woman, right? But I know, I know today virginity is a unicorn. So you know, that is what that is. And it shall be, if thou have no delight in her, then thou shalt let her go whither she will, but thou shalt not sell her at all for money. Thou shalt not make merchandise of her, because thou hast humbled her. If a man have two wives, one beloved and another hated, and they have borne him children, both the beloved and the hated, and if the firstborn son be hers that was hated, when it shall be, when he maketh his sons to inherit that which he hath, that he may not make. Hold on 1 second, y'all. I had something pop up on my screen here. And it, 1 second. Then it shall be, when he maketh his sons to inherit that which he hath, that he may not make the son of the beloved firstborn before the son of the hated, which is indeed the firstborn. But he shall acknowledge the son of the hated for the firstborn, by giving him a double portion of all that he have, for he is the beginning of his strength. The right of the firstborn is his. Now, this is a son who has not done any wrong. Just because the father didn't like the mother, he couldn't put that on the son. Now, it's a lot of meat on this bone in these couple verses that we could learn from. Um, we have a lot of women today that say a lot of different things about having multiple wives, right? For one, they say it's whoremongering, it's wicked. The Most High never intended it, and all. Well, the Most High never intended a lot of things. He never intended for you to have multiple sexual partners before you got with your current husband. He never intended for your current husband to have multiple sexual partners before he got with you. He never intended for out of wedlock births. He never intended you to be cast out of your land and shipped to the four corners of the earth. He never intended a whole bunch of things, but they did happen, and we make do with what we got. Right? Facts is the facts. This podcast is about truth. It's all about understanding. It's all about seeing how we can take the scriptures and apply them today. Now, it's a lot of things about it was only kings and rich men who had multiple wives, but here we see a law being spoken to all the men of Yasharal, and it gave no significance of what type of man this was. It says if a man. It didn't say if a wrench. I mean, if a rich man, if a prince, or if a king has two wives. It didn't say any of that. It said if a man have two. It didn't say he better not have two. If he have two, stone him, beat him. It didn't say any of that. It says if, right? So there's been a lot of things said, spoken, you know, from a Western perspective of seeing things. But in the Eastern perspective, many of us, myself included, would be looked down upon for our previous lifestyles, right? And would be different names, you know, different derogatory names, even in the very book in which we cleave to about laws, statutes, and commandments. Many of us have done things worthy of death, worthy of stonings, worthy of lashings in the city court, right? But it's through the kindness and the favor of the Most High Yah, and thanks to His Son Yahushua Hamashiach, that we could be reborn, right, and become a new creature in Hamashiach, right? But that's turning from all of those old wicked and evil things unto righteousness, and that don't put this office in a negative light of having two, but also we had different women. You know, a shepherd has to know his sheep, and if you don't got the kind of a woman who could handle such a thing, you shouldn't do it. If you can't afford to do such a thing, you shouldn't do it. If you don't have the skills, personnel skills to be able to talk and to problem solve and to minister and to you know handle group activities, then you shouldn't do it. So it's a lot of things that a man has to have and has to understand to do a type of a thing. Do most brothers need to be doing it today? No. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, if they did it, then they just have to meet the qualifications for it. I can't say it's a sin and it's whoremongering and all this old stuff that people say. People gonna have to repent for lying on the word, man. And that just is what it is. Let's keep on moving. You know, the inheritance of the firstborn son, we see in scripture where the firstborn son has lost their inheritance multiple times, right? Um, you know, Adam lost his, off the rip. Uh, you know, um, Ishmael lost his, Esau lost his. But these were due to the transgressions of the son, not the mother. The Most High said that a man shall be responsible for his own doing. He won't be judged for the sins of his parents, right? Although the sins of his parents can put him in a bad predicament, like, you could grow up poor because of the sins of your of your parents, you know what I'm saying? But you won't have any kind of spiritual you know, judgments behind it. 17. But he shall acknowledge the son of the hated firstborn by giving him a double portion of all that he hath, for he is the beginning of his strength. The right of the firstborn is his. Now here we go. If a man have a stubborn and rebellious son, which will not obey the voice of his father or the voice of his mother, and that when they have chastened him, will not hearken unto them, then shall his father and mother lay hold on him and bring him out unto the elders of his city and unto the gate of his place, And they shall say unto the elders of his city, This is our son. This is our son. This our son is stubborn and rebellious, and he will not obey our voice. He is a glutton and a drunkard. And all the men of his city, all the men, we see where women are not involved in this type of thing, but yet today women would like feel uh you know they feel justified in being in a lot of offices of men, and it's like this: the judgment that comes with being a man throughout the scripture, the responsibility, the discipline, these things weren't meant to be placed on our women. Now, true enough, I know we always talk about certain women in scriptures that did certain things. You got the woman that, you know, stabbed the man in the head. You got Judith that cut the man head off and all these things. Well, this was particular situations that women got themselves into because of their beauty and because of who they were. As we see, that's you know a drop in the bucket compared to all the different judgments, all the different wars, all the different hard circumstances that men found themselves in. It's a certain order in this thing, and we have today come to resent the order and started to blur the lines of order. And I think it's dangerous. And I would say this is how we got the LGBT community, is that lines got blurred. It became a thing of, why can't I do this if I feel like I can do this? you know, and it got worse and worse and worse and worse, to where now we got transgender men reading books to your children in school, to where now we got LT, LG alphabet uh education classes. I'm not talking about your ABCs uh in schools now, and that's what happens when lines get blurred, because the line is for is for places of, you know, um, what's I'm looking for? The line is a barrier that keeps one thing from crossing over into another. See, and we have no more barriers, which is against Torah. Torah is all about barriers. Even your home is a barrier, because it's supposed to keep things out and keep other things in. So just want to point that out, is that you know we've strayed far, far, far from what the Most High outlined for us to be. Um, the son here, you know, it ain't just that he won't listen. It says he is a glutton and he is a drunkard. So he's he's putting himself in a place to get judged, and he's being judged. In 21, all the men of his city shall stone him with stones that he die. So shalt thou put away evil from among you, and all Yasharal shall hear and fear. You know, I don't hear people talking about doing stuff like this when they talk about laws, statutes, and commandments. This part is left out. They leave this part out. You know, got a lot of bad kids today, from small kids all the way up to teenagers. We don't see this. We don't even see a council of elder men to even whoop these boys. It be groups claiming laws, statutes, and commandments, and it's women in the groups with unruly sons, and the men don't even chastise the sons, verbally or physically. But yet they'll stand on the corner and talk about laws, statutes, and commandments. You know, how far removed are we? And if a man have committed a sin worthy of death, and he be put to death, and thou hang him on a tree, his body shall not remain all night upon the tree, but thou shalt in any wise bury him that day. For he that is hanged is accursed of the Most High. That thy land be not defiled, which the Most High thy power giveth thee for an inheritance. All right, all right. Let's get into some music. Truth Music Radio. I'm gonna play a couple songs for you. All right. I'm gonna play a 3-piece because I gotta change my son's diaper. He's smelling. So the first song will be Sorrows by Hezekiah. The second song will be Dead Presidents by Ezariah J. And the third song will be Pressure by Travis Snipes. Let's get it.
Good evening. I'm Kristen Welker in for Lester. We begin tonight with the new front in the war on COVID-19. That new, more contagious strain of the virus, first identified in Britain, has now been found in 2 U.S. states, Colorado and now California. There are new questions tonight about just how widespread it already is. This as health officials vow to pick up the pace of the vaccine rollout after acknowledging the effort has fallen.
You need to repent, go watch the news. All of the prophecy coming true. He said his son to die for you. Follow his steps, you make it through. Euphrates River's drying up. The 12 tribes done rise up. The devil know it's time up. Messiah coming, I'm fired up. Rumors of war, we at the door. In the tribulation, please endure. In your patience, possess your soul. Earthquakes and pestilence coming more. Come up out of my people. Default done did so much evil. These places coming, they won't leave you. Famine, nuclear missiles gon' kill that eagle. We got angels, they got demons. For the most, I'll protect you and keep you. Love him and he gon' ask call. And this tribulation gon' let you know. Your truth, they truth, my truth. His life, his death, the truth. No vaccine gon' mean some sacrifice. Would you lose it all to leave afterlife? These plays are coming to the earth. America about to get hurt. Keep having visions, I'm alert. Babylon is going down, is in his word. Come up out of my people. Jeremiah 50, pray I see you. All but sing your angels, cause we need you. Having visions, I keep seeing yelling and screaming. A fake Messiah coming, don't let him deceive you. All them signs and lying wonders gonna be evil. Messiah opening them seals. Keep them commandments, y'all, cause this body get real. Lockdowns coming back. Them plays coming, nobody could send them back. Hold back your wings, seal your elect. Hold back your wings, seal your elect. You need to repent, go watch the news. All of the prophecy coming true. He sent his son to die for you. Follow his steps, you make it through.
Stop wasting your mind on they stupid. They use this stuff to make a fool out of you. Everything they give it is to keep your mind off a real issue. How many times I told y'all how that works?
Yeah.
Once you get out of office, that's when you make your money. Y'all be thinking I'm stupid. I know the game.
They probably wanna see me slip and fall off. Offended and appalled, dog. You better humble down, reckon and recognize who called y'all. Those are the circumcision, Israel, not Allah. Not a flesh and blood, gotta make sure that your hearts are. Time to hit a real and had a hard talks. Fighting off these witches like Baba Yaga and Bar Talk. Future looking stark, getting dark. Not for those that's been chosen and been called. Scary thing is though not all are. They gon' make you think you're starting to lose it if you use your mind. People got a spirit of slumber, don't like to use their eyes. Devils be disguised as historians telling you some lies. Careful as a riot, it's that talk that get you eulogized. Probably try to euthanize. Governments be watching like we moving pies. Girding up the nation, yo, so shout my Akya Hukana. They pissed cause they turf is what we moving on. You are a chosen nation, y'all sure all the time for you to find. Preacher and his deacons ain't nothing but Pharisees and scribes. Blind lead the blind, so it's hard to see the blurring lines. Like Esther and Mordecai. Deeds of the flesh, I fight to mortify. Something around me smelling hella fishier than Porta Johns. Israel need to organize, come together, orbitize. We serve the same body like toes, bones, organs, eyes. Bruise got it twisted, they contortionize. May not know it all, but I bet I know it's more to life. Way beyond what's mortalized. Push on us is normalized. You must be delirious. Tell me, is you serious? Like in the ear infections, is you hearing this? Mad at they dad, son, and boys in the hood like I'm furious. What's got them all ticked off, I'm curious. World need a change, well, I'm starting with a man in the mirror is. Problems, yeah, I probably got a myriad. But facing myself, now I ain't fearing that. Settle for less, now I ain't hearing that. Leaders puffed up, they using pride as they inflation. Filled with inflammation. They feeding us with tainted food and tainted information. Call me Azariah J. Fisherman. Throwing out the fish tape for fish bait. The fish we trying to reel him in. His word ain't nothing realer than 10 toes down on this firma and this filament. Demons, we be killing them. Thorns in the side, yeah, they feeling them. That's why they try condemning them. My light, they ain't dimming it. Got the whole armor on like denim. Sorry if I can't pronounce these synonyms. Ghetto bird symphony. Nope, I can't sing, but I'm sending ghetto hymns to him. Forgive me of my sins in them. And don't forget my kin in them. I say we singing ghetto birds hymns to him. Forgive me of my sins in them. Don't forget and don't neglect my kin in them. Devil working hard to put it into them. Probably can't tell I've been through hell because heaven sent for him.
Listen, a senator, a congressman, they don't make no money. $150,000 ain't no money. It's the money you make for the deals you cut. They institute laws that put businesses in action. All of them just thief and robber. They criminal, nothing but hoods. Y'all be running for these. Let me tell you something. All these people just rot. All they do is set their cronies up to come back to collect their money. Because you get out, what's gonna make me pay you? That's what you doing, you nigga. Nigga at heart.
Snipes. Look, let me talk to him. I know we just dropped something. I feel like rapping again. Middle finger to thumb, I feel like snapping again. Yeah. Let's get straight to it. Look. I know we just dropped something, but I feel like rapping again. Middle finger to thumb, I feel like snapping again. Souls on the floor, we rapping to win. I'm in a race with myself, and by now I'm lapping to win. Look, 100 miles and running, we on one. Got the spirit tucked, cause you know them demons gon' come. And we big stepping like feet 5, 4 from. Planting seeds and stitching the seams. Bottom line, we gon' sow some. You know you feel it when you hear me spitting. Nah, clutch on your chest like, here I come, Elizabeth. No conversation is frivolous. You hearing this? And my flow water like, welcome to my payment. A black man with a brain, that's a problem. Man, we used to snatch gays, now it's knowledge. Used to catch and throw straight. Now we busting legal plays cause we conscious. It was 21 and lucky to be alive. Now we businessmen trying to retire at 35. Man, we gentlemen. No more strippers. I want a bride and a seed that's gonna grow whichever way that I guide. Side note, it's modesty in your mind. Gonna see it in your clothes. Make sure you stay away from them. We need queens to go with these kings. A Coretta just make it all better with fulfilling your dreams. Let's go. How you gonna scrabble with somebody who vocabulary is immaculate? Right. I'm a part of that living word. They just a pastor kid. Like that kid that hate clowns, dog. I ain't having it. Look, I don't put syllables together to try to seal my fate. It's encrypted in my walk. We just reel it this way. All that faking in your music, I'm a specialist. Just listen to the words that I apply pressure with. And my metaphors and similes, they confederate. These are the things that I was gifted in the ghetto with. Gold rhyme patterns that they don't want to meddle with. And I'm shining with this ghetto gospel, dog. Look what my bezel. I got a message to bring, not just bars. We driving down the murder rate. Y'all just want cars. We like Tyson with the righteous, cause we some hard hitters. Trying to meet that man in the sky while y'all worshiping these stars. Listen, it's a difference, cause my heart and my pen. These pause rappers got me started again. I'm trying to give life in my music, turn these boys into men, while these junkies steady barter for sin. Look, and I'ma say this one more time. I ain't wasted no more rhymes. We rapping Elohim to the fullest, and as long as I'm rapping, you devils will get no more shine. One.
You devils gonna get no more shine. Shout out to all my ops. I don't know Hezekiah, but I know Azariah. I know Travis. I've met them ops personally. Shout out to them. Let's get back into it. We're now in chapter 22. Chapter 22 of the book of Deuteronomy. Pardon me. Getting everything squared away. Everything shared up. I'm running into some difficulties. All right. Chapter 22 of the book of Deuteronomy. Thou shalt not see thy brother's ox or his sheep go astray, and hide thyself from them. Thou shalt in any case bring them again unto thy brother. This is, it's certain laws, I could see us not being able to do, but the ones in which we can, or even if it applies in multiple levels, because we have to understand that these are living words, right? So they're able to be applied on different levels and in different cases, right? So thy brother's ox could be anything of thy brother's possessions. If you see thy brother's possessions astray or apart from him, and you know he don't want them apart from him, if you see his child, if you see his wife, in need of assistance, or even behaving in ways in which he would not approve of, you should alert your brother. You should give them aid if it's aid that they're looking for. Any of your brother's possession. This is the whole thing about a hobbing thy neighbor, loving thy neighbor. It's this thing of, regardless of what you got going on at the time, because it said, thou shalt in any case, whatever you got going on, you need to get that to your brother. Even if you got to go get it and bring it home and get it back to him when you got time, you need to be making sure you get it back to him, right? And likewise, we would want that from somebody else. If we got something that's been stolen from us, or we dropped something somewhere, or whatever the case may be, we would like to have our stuff returned to us, and we would want somebody to give it back to us. I dropped the envelope one time. I had just cashed my check, and I went to the store. You know how it is. You go to the store to get them swishers, get them, utensils and whatnot, cigarettes and all that, little alcohol, whatever. So I went to the store. Anyway, long story short, I had an envelope from the bank with my money in it. And I get back to the house and I ain't got no envelope. So, ow, hold checking that thing too. Man, I go back to the store. I'm looking around. I don't know why I'm looking around outside this store. This is the store where people go and get swishers from. I mean, that should tell you a lot. And um, I'm checking around outside and everything. Needless to say, the envelope was not outside. So I said, I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna ask the cashier. I'm like, hey man, did anybody find an envelope out here full of money? he said, uh, he said, how much is in it? So, ooh, okay. I told him how much was in it. He said, you lucky. I got it. And handed me the envelope of money. So just that kind of a mindset that he would give it back. Now, to my shame, to my shame, you know, I will say I didn't give him no money out of it. I was like, thank you. And turned around and got up out of there. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I feel bad about that today. Um, for years I felt bad about that. Every time I think about that story, I really should have gave that man some money because he could have kept all of it. So to my point of he could have kept all the money, but he didn't. He chose to do the right thing and to give it back. Now, after I walked out the store, he probably felt like he should have kept it. But we are called to be of this mind that we don't keep what belongs to our neighbor, that we return it back unto them, right? And this is what the scripture is telling us. Even at an inconvenience of our own self, right? This is what he's saying. Even at the inconvenience. I just say in any cause, you know, you busy, you got something to do right there. No, you go and get that. After you go and secure it, right? Because it's secured once you get it. I don't think it means you have to go take it to them right then, but I think it means by any means you shall secure it, right? Go get that. Don't say, I'm gonna go handle it when I come back from the store. No, go get it, secure it, then go to the store and then make plans to get it back to your brother. And if thy brother be not nigh unto thee, and if thou know him not, then thou shalt bring it unto thine own house. See what I just said? I didn't even know it was finna say this, but exactly what I just said. If he be not nigh unto thee, if he's not close, or you don't know whose it is, then thou shalt bring it unto thine house, and it shall be with thee until thy brother seek after it. Somebody gonna come around. Hey man, ain't nobody, ain't nobody seen no heifer around here. Ain't nobody seen no ox. You know, and thou shalt restore it unto him. In like manner shalt thou do with his ass, and so shalt thou do with his raiment, and with all lost thing of thy brothers, which he hath lost, and thou hast found, shalt thou do likewise. Thou mayest not hide thyself. Yeah, so you know, I know we done. I've done it. You know, found some money, found the wallet, went through that thing, put the put the wallet back with less money than was in it before. This is I was in the world. This years ago. We're not talking about nothing recent at all, really. We're talking about something in the past. And it ought not to have been. These things are to our shame. As we see in the scriptures, we were not called to be this type of people, called to be honest, upright, you know. Uh 4. Thou shalt not see thy brother's ass or his ox fall down by the way and hide thyself from them. Thou shalt surely help him to lift them up again. This is what Hamashiach told the scribes and the Pharisees when they was questioning him about doing work on the Sabbath. You know, um, that would be work, heavy lifting. But in the case of doing well, in case of keeping Torah, you're supposed to help your brother when he's in need. When he healed somebody, they was in need. We should by all means help those that are in need. That was the problem in the story of the Good Samaritan, was that you had people that passed by him when he was in need. You know, the Kohanim passed by him because, it don't say in the text, but assuming that he didn't want to be defiled if he was a dead body or if he had blood on him. But it's like, by all means, we must do what is good. By all means, we must be of assistance. And it's like, even today in this walk, you got brothers that won't deal with other brothers, won't speak, won't minister to brothers because of they don't got fringes or they're in a group in which you don't agree with or believe in. We have to be kinsmen first before we're part of any group, before we're part of different tribes, before we have doctrines. We're kinsmen. We are blood of each other's blood, flesh of each other's flesh. That's what's really not really expounded on a lot today. That if we believe we are the children of Yahshua, we are blood of each other's blood and flesh of each other's flesh. And that really is something the heathen don't want us to realize. The heathen don't want us to think like that, right? Because that kind of thinking and belief system would bring together more unity in which they are afraid of us having, you know. So when a person talks about keeping laws, statutes, and commandments, that's got to be one of the first mind. Think about this. If the whole law rests on a hobbing and serving the Most High, the Creator, and of a hobbing your neighbor, your brother, your kinsman, you know, more than thyself, you got to get. You can't be having no beef with people. You could disagree. You could not partake in any kind of actions in which they in against Torah, but you gotta look to be of any kind of service that you could be to them. Oh, I'm just not, I'm done with you. I ain't, you know, even if you don't get into these cordial conversations though, still, if a brother be in need, just like the Torah say, you know, if there is a need, you should meet it. That don't mean you got to watch the game with them, you know, go to the mall and not. No, if they need something and you could do it, if something needs to be said that's a benefit to them, then you need to say it. If something needs to be done that's a benefit to them, then you need to do it. That's got to be the mind. And if we have that mind, the Most High will baruch us for that. That's why a lot of us ain't getting baruch, because We believe in our little clique, our little group of friends, our little group of people, and that's it. Not even to say that you can't be more minded towards that what's in your household, but we have to understand a land is multiple sections and barriers, right? You have your house, you got your tent wall, and then outside of your house, you have your you know, your town. Outside of that, you have your city. Outside of your city, you got your land, your allotted land of the whole nation. So it's like just because the person's not in your tent, don't mean they're not in your city. Don't mean they're not in your land, right? We are neighbors to all of those levels of people. The ones in your tent, the ones in your city, and the ones in your land. Brethren. And we don't think like that today. We don't think like that today. We think them over there, us over here. And it's contrary to scriptures. Thou shalt not see thy brother's ass or ox fall down by the way and hide thyself from them. Thou shalt surely help him to lift them up again. 5. A woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment, for all that do so are abominations unto the Most High thy power. Now, a lot of people get into the pants debates about this, right? Whereas something can be said for that, about the pants thing. But spiritually is where it's a lot more meat at, or or in other applications, metaphoric applications is where it's a lot more meat. Just like with eating unclean meats, it's got something to do with that, but it's also got something to do with unclean character traits that you don't partake in, right? Now, what are the traits of that which pertaineth to a man? The office of a man, the nature of a man, the discipline, the judgments, decrees, and ordinances of a man, right? The authority of a man. Shall not a woman wear that which pertaineth to a man, right? What pertaineth to a woman, you know, daintiness, being ruled and reigned over, being being you know feminine, not putting their hands to harsh labor. Now I know today you got women that do all of this stuff, and it's a problem with that because when you partake in these rough activities, it's gonna give you a rough mindset. We're not talking about gardening. That's not really rough like that. Okay, I'm talking about real hardcore blistering work. You know, um, these are things by and large women didn't do because it wasn't meant for them to do it. That's why um in scripture women were always connected to men. There was men that stepped in. There was men that oversaw. It was men who led and taught and guided, instructed. You know, um, we really just in all ways, we just in all ways not not what this Torah, not what this Torah was about, man. Because you got women that take care and provide for men. like the roles have been reversed utterly and completely. And in a lot of cases now, I'm not saying everybody, but even in this walk, it's people, it's men that play the roles of women, and it's women that play the roles of men. And as we see, it is an abomination unto the most high thy power. When you take on that which is meant for another gender. Not just wearing the clothes. The clothes is that men shouldn't be wearing dresses. You know, um, in that day, you wouldn't have caught none of the daughters of Zion wearing no pants, even if pants existed. Just because uh, it's just really not seemly. And I would even go as far as to say it's probably not healthy. Healthy hygiene practices or whatever for uh for the feminine health. Now, think about it. You got something tight or constraining up on the, you know, reproductive area, or you got a dress where it's loose and free and air flowy. Which one you think is better, health wise? I'm just saying, let's be real about it, but anyway, let's keep going. If a bird's nest chance to be before thee in the way in any tree or on the ground, whether they be young ones or eggs, and the dam sitting upon the young or upon the eggs, thou shalt not take the dam with the young, but thou shalt in any wise let the dam go and take the young to thee, that it may be well with thee, and that thou mayest prolong thy days. Look at that. It's laws even about, birds, man. You know, when thou buildest a new house, then thou shalt make a battlement for thy roof, that thou bring not blood upon thine house, if any man fall from thence. A battlement. Let's see what a battlement is real quick. See what a battlement is. What is a battlement? A battlement, a parapet at the top of a wall, especially of a fort or castle that has regularly spaced squared openings for shooting through. So it's pretty much like a guardrail on your roof, right? That thou bring not blood upon thy house if any man fall from thence. Thou shalt not sow thy vineyard with diverse seeds, lest the fruit of thy seed which thou hast sown and the fruit of thy vineyard be defiled. We see this today even with our children in school, right? Many of the stuff our children learn, many of the stuff we learn came from children that came from different circumstances. We might have been raised with some home training. We didn't watch no crazy TV shows. We couldn't play no crazy music. But you get to school and, you know, Johnny and Susie or, Davion and Quintisha, you know, they got the, uncut, unfiltered parental advisory songs at school on the CD player or the tape deck or the iPod now, you know? And it's like we get exposed to stuff that we would have never got exposed to. We are exposed to diverse seeds. Likewise with with having children with people of the other nations. It's diverse seeds, it's diverse cultures, diverse mindsets, diverse belief systems. If not with the parents of the parents and the siblings of the parents. And then these kids get exposed to these different mindsets, different beliefs than which the parents or than which one parent, being the Israelite, might have as opposed to that of the other nations. And it can cause problems, as I'm sure many of us have experienced personally, even as far as the other nation not being able to relate with what it means to be a Negro, you know, or with, whoever's listening, you could be Caucasian listening, right? Um, the Negro couldn't comprehend what it's like to be white, and vice versa. So this is why the Torah, you know, metaphorically and also literally, you could pollute the seeds by growing them close to another. You have, I think it's called cross pollination or whatever, where you end up creating a hybrid plant, a different plant. Apparently, that's where all these, they got all these new apples. They got all these new grapes. Where is all the purple grapes gone? I don't see purple grapes in the store. When I was a kid, he used to have purple grapes. I want to say, I think I remember purple grapes. I don't know if I've been caught up in what they call it, Mandela effect. I don't think I got caught up in the Mandela effect. I could have swore there was purple grapes. Somebody put some in the comments and let me know. Back in the early '90s, was there purple grapes? You know, where is all the berry trees and the plum trees and the peach trees and stuff, man? I went to Atlanta. I went to Alabama. I didn't see none of this stuff, man. Like, that was all around when I was a kid. Anyway, uh, thou shalt not plow with an ox and an ass together. Thou shalt not wear a garment of diverse sorts as a woolen and linen together. Now, plow with an ox and an ass, because there's different strengths and different speeds to an ox and an ass. One is going to tire out the other. Now, spiritually, we can see the same thing. Whereas, you know, we have people that negatively affect the other. Now, it would be great if the strong could affect the weak and make the weak to be strong. But oftentimes, it is the weak that make the strong weak. So it's just not a positive thing to mix the two in certain situations. You know, um, so yeah, we have to watch out for that and be mindful of that. Thou shalt not wear a garment of diverse sorts as woolen and linen together. Um, I have looked into this. There is actually healing properties to linen. I want to say some healing properties to wool too. But I think if you uh cross them, I believe it becomes negative properties, just like with polyester. Polyester is a blend of fabrics. That's actually that's actually what polyester means. Poly, multiple. right? So it has negative traits to it. So once again, the the weak hurting the strong or having negative effects upon the strong, or just things aren't meant to be mixed. They're meant to be separate. You know, there's a nice wool piece of clothing in the winter is beautiful. A nice linen piece of clothing in the summer, that's beautiful. But if you mix them, you're gonna have an odd thing, and that's what we have in many cases in the physical and the spiritual when you mix things together that aren't intended to be mixed. Thou shalt make the fringes upon the four corners of thy vesture, wherewith thou coverest thyself. If any man take a wife and go in unto her and hate her, and give occasions of speech against her, and bring up an evil name upon her, and say, I took this woman, and when I came to her, I found her not a maid. Then shall the father of the damsel and her mother take and bring forth the tokens of the damsel's virginity unto the elders of the city gate. And the damsel's father shall say unto the elders, I gave my daughter unto this man to wife, and he hated her. And lo, he hath given occasions of speech against her, saying, I found thy daughter a maid. No, I found not thy daughter a maid. And yet these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity, and they shall spread the cloth before the elders of the city. And the elders of that city shall take that man and chastise him, and they shall immerse him in 100 shekels of silver, and give them unto the father of the damsel, because he have brought up an evil name upon a virgin of Yasharal, and she shall be his wife. He may not put her away all the days. That's, today we so geared towards feelings and emotions. In today's time, that woman would have wanted to leave that man and left him, right? But we have to understand that a woman on her own was a disgrace. You know, women weren't really keen on going back to their parents' house after they left it. The whole marriage ceremony was a thing of giving her to someone else, to a new life, to be joined to one flesh to a man. How you gonna renege on that and leave that, and the man still living? Today we don't think nothing of it. We get a divorce in an instant. You know, um, they would put that woman back with that man, and they both got to suck it up. Think about it. How you go back from something like that? This man been lying on you. He pretty much been calling you a whore. Basically, that's basically what he said. He said, "I found her not a maid." That means you slept with somebody else before you slept with me, which means you slept with them out of wedlock because I married you, and that make you now. You see what I'm saying? So we should be mindful in this day and age to be more about enduring the hardships and the disagreements we have with our mates, and doing our best to try to work it out, to try to bring peace to the situation, to try to bring shalom to the situation as much as we can individually, right? We can't make them do anything, but we, as a person, a part of the covenant, can do all that we can. in the situation. And I mean truly do it. I hear people say this all the time. I was in a clubhouse. This woman then had 3 husbands. And she in clubhouse complaining about her 3 husbands, how, you know, these niggas ain't this and these niggas ain't that. And I said, first of all, when you get in these kind of rooms, it be rooms where it be a man hosting and he'll have a certain topic that he know is gonna draw women in to have them speaking. And it's like it was a lot of women on the stage. So here I come. I get on the stage. Well, I come in the room and he invite me on the stage. So I'm hearing her with all of this talking. So I get on and I asked the sister. I said, "Man, you know what did your 3 husbands have to say about you?" She said, "They ain't have nothing to say. I'm a hell of a woman. They love me. They want to get back with me. We got good standing relationships." I'm like, yeah, right. I love to talk to them. You know what I'm saying? Because her mindset was she did everything for them, but they wouldn't do anything back to her to reciprocate back to her. And from just hearing her talk, from hearing the sister talk, I got I got some real worldly type vibes. I got some real, you know, Jezebel spirit. I make my own money, do my own thing. I'm a woman, hear me roar, you know, period. You know what I'm saying? Type of vibes. You know. Her picture, she in some tight mini skirt with the long lashes and all this old stuff. And it's like, yeah, I really don't see you as being, you know, wife wife type. You know. You just didn't like the girlfriend title. So you up for being called a wife. But the nature and the characteristics of a wife, I doubt very seriously that she had that. And I doubt even more seriously that she chose the kind of a man that would have characteristics of a husband, a righteous husband. But we just need to be mindful of different spirits, right? For for those of you who are single, right? You have to be mindful of what type of person is this? What kind of a mind do they have? Do they have a mind towards righteousness? Not just talking about it, because you got people that they be talking, they be doing some talking, you know, not just studying scriptures, because you got people that be studying, but do they get something from the scriptures and do they go about trying to apply it to their lives? Do they practice? This is the kind of investigation you have to perform when you courting somebody these days. You know, in our ancestors' time, they would know a group of people that brought up children. They would know of them, how they acted, what they did, how they raised up their children, and they would go to those parents and say, "Hey, why don't our children get married?" You know, or a son would find a damsel he'd want, and he'd go to his parents and say, "I want to marry this woman." Then the parent would go and do investigations about these people and find out what's going on. There was always this investigation or a foreknowledge, and then the two people would come together. We don't do that now. Now we do a short little courting phase, you know, and most people don't even meet in public at first. They meet on the internet. I met on the internet. I didn't do a long courting period, you know, but um I've had some hardships behind that. What I'm saying? I've had some hardships. But it also has 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 caused me to learn to overcome adversity, to overcome disagreements that I might have with my Isha to find a solution or to bring shalom, right? Everybody's not built like that. I didn't know I was built like that. She didn't know I was built like that. And I didn't know she was built like how she is to endure and to stay with me because old girl on Clubhouse, she left her husbands. She That's what she said. They didn't leave me. I left them. What if my Isha would have been like that? Get into something, it's not going like how you want it to go. Now you just gonna up and leave. You know, a lot of people do that. A lot of people doing that in this walk. Let's not get into it. This ain't just people in the world. People in the walk doing this thing, and it's an abomination, right? Because we are called to seek and to you know, uh, uh, you know, find shalom and to uplift, edify, minister. Okay, let's get into some commercials. Get into some commercials real quick. Uh, see what we got here. See what we got on the commercial side of the game. Can I do what? Hold on, y'all. I'm having some issues.
Shalom,
Hold on.
shalom to the brethren, man. What up to everybody else? Listen, this y'all Brandon Lewis. I just want to take this time to tell y'all, man, hit that like button, man. For those of y'all joining me on YouTube and Facebook and Hebrew Connect, hit that like button, man. It ain't gonna cost you nothing to hit. It ain't gonna cost you nothing to like the channel, to comment, subscribe, to follow. It ain't gonna cost you nothing, man. So go ahead and push that button, hit that notification bell, man, so you can be notified when it's time to go live. Don't rob your brother of his likes and his subscriptions. Shalom.
Truth Music Radio is the #1 hottest source of truth music. Come see what all the fuss is about. Every Sunday from 6 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, Zebediah Boaz will be bringing y'all evening meditation. Mondays from 7 to 9 p.m., DJ Taz Stewart will be on the ones and twos. Tuesdays and Thursdays from 6 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, Moshe Yehuda will bring you truth music, scripts, and world events. Wednesday from 5 to 7, your sister, Ray Chantel, will be bringing you Sister Talk every Wednesday. Every Friday, tap in to Truth, Love, and Redemption with Dimitri Milligan from 6 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And don't forget about me, your op, Brandon Lewis, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 a.m. We'll be bringing you the Script Talk Podcast, all on Truth Music Radio. The Z is for Zion, powered by the Most High, J Shields Promotions, RayGraphics.com, and Yasharala Nation. Zion, spread the message. Download the app for free for Apple devices and Android. Shalom.
It's your Ox, you the Black, and you're tuned into truthmusic.com. The Z is for Zion.
That's right. Let's get into some music. Music with a Z, because the Z is for Zion. Get into some Ibana and Yasharala, everything I do. Featuring my Ak K4.
Light onto my path, lamp onto my feet. Broke me out the matrix, woke me out my sleep. Through all the dark times, you stood right there with me. Thought I chose you, but on the cool, you chose me. You are Yahuwah, and you never change. I see my people switch up, but you remain the same. Fell on my face, you picked me up, gave me forgiveness. Living in this dog-eat-dog world, around my people, I can feel the difference. Praying for strength, I will teach us your ways. On this path of worship, obedience and praise. Look deep past the surface, just to see what's surface. Know your purpose, learn how to break these curses. Practice makes perfect, victory is preparation. Straight and narrow, that's the road, so pack light on the road to salvation. Consuming fire, eternal flame. All esteem Yahuwah, wonderful is your name. Yeah. Everything I do it for you. Everything I do it for you. Everything I do it for you. Yeah. Everything I do, yeah. I do it for you. I do it for you. I do it for you.
Got everything you done that you did for me. About appreciation, showing you true. How through my obedience, how I reciprocate. And offering up the sacrifice of my lips as I praise and I give you thanks. I give you thanks. I give you thanks. With uplifted hands, I'm doing my dance. Yeah, yo, it's grand. Y'all cause me stand. Yeah, your presence is fullness of joy. You have the praises of all of your people. You are giving us true knowledge to overcome the presence of all evil. To defeat the root of heaviness, I've got my garments on. To the Rabba Yahweh, this is my praise song. Don't stand too close to me, cause this is a praise song. Unless you really wanna get your praise on. And blaze on, let's go and get it. To Yah's words, we stand committed. We ain't faking and we ain't kidding. We fastly far from hypocrite. We expect the righteousness to get it. I keep going and run their course and tell them how the Abba's feeling.
Everything I do it for you. Everything I do it for you. Everything I do it for you. Yeah. Everything I do, yeah. I do it for you. I do it for you. Everything I do it for you. Everything I do it for you. Everything I do it for you. Yeah. Everything I do, yeah. Do it for you. Do it for you. Everything I do it for you. Everything I do it for you. Everything I do.
Psalms, Tehillim, 23. Yahweh is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still water. He restores my nefas. He leadeth me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yeah, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for Yahweh is with me. His rod and his staff shall comfort me. He prepares a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of Yahweh forever.
That's right. I had to let them shots off for my ox. You know what I'm saying? Let them bombs off for my Aki. You know what I'm saying? Let's give them a round of applause. You know, they made that song, man. They made that song. Look, if anybody got a problem with it, they can get slapped. They can get slapped. Don't play with it. Play with my Akeem. No, it's a very special song. They made that song here in my house because they had left where they was from to come help me and my wife in our time of recovery. And they made that song and everything they did it for the Most High, for their hob, for the Most High and their hob they had for their brother. So I appreciate them brothers and I hob them brothers. Shalom to them. Pay for even on Yasharala. Um, verse 22. One second. Get back on camera. Shalom, Ak Mikael Gabar. Shalom for joining us. Me and my man, round up, looking like his mama. For those of you joining me on Facebook and YouTube. Script Talk Podcast, The Life of an Israelite. Go hit that like button, subscribe. For those of you that's on Facebook and YouTube, go get that Truth Music radio app. That's music with a Z, because the Z is for Zion. You know what I'm saying? Tap in or tap out. Let's get back to it. Verse 22, if a man be found lying with a woman married to an husband, then they shall both of them die. Both the man that lay with the woman and the woman, so shalt thou put away evil from Yasharal. See, this is what happened with Yahusha and the woman, because the people didn't do a righteous judgment. They didn't bring the man. See, that's where they messed up at. They said, we going to test Yahusha. We going to bring him this woman and see if he going to be ready to kill her. See? But they didn't bring the man. See, and you can't do an unjust judgment and only kill her. Nor can you do an unjust judgment and only kill the man. You got to kill them both. I've said this many times and I believe it. I could be wrong, but according to this law, it says, you know, they shall be put to death. How are people put to death in the Torah? The men of the city take up stones and stone him. Okay? If Yahusha would have been a man of the city, I believe he'd have had to been a part of the men that would have had to go and stone him and her. But because they didn't do a righteous judgment, for whatever reason, they spared the man. They said the woman was caught in the act of adultery. That means they caught him having sex. They supposed to brought them both. They only brought her. But anyway, this is also a deal with, you see why this judgment don't happen when a man lay with a woman who is not married, right? He has to pay for defiling her, and then he can marry her. But when you sleep with a married woman, you know, there's a judgment behind that. Both the man that lay with the woman and the woman, so shalt thou put away evil from Yasharal. If a damsel that is a virgin be betrothed unto a husband, and a man find her in the city and lie with her, then ye shall bring them both out unto the gate of that city, and ye shall stone them with stones that they die. The damsel, because she cried not, being in the city, because if you in the city, somebody's raping you, somebody should have heard, if you was crying out, somebody should have heard that you was being raped. Why didn't they hear it? Why didn't you cry out? Right? And the man, because he hath humbled his neighbor's wife, so thou shalt put away evil from among you. Now, this also, I believe, has has spiritual or metaphoric connotations to it about evil, right? In the book of Ezekiel, it talks about how the the Most High sent Malachim or angels to put marks upon the foreheads of the righteous men of the city, right? They were called righteous men because it said they cry out. Go and put a mark upon the heads of those that cry out against the wickedness of the city. Then go through and utterly slay everyone else, right? So, likewise, we should be those that cry out against the wickedness of the city, because everybody that don't cry out is deemed to be one who participates in the wickedness. Brothers and sisters, you got to cry out against it. That shows that you are not with what's happening, what's transpiring. Just like this damsel, if she don't cry out, then she is for this this thing that's happening to her, right? Let's just be mindful of that one. 25. But if a man find a betrothed damsel in a field, and the man force her and lie with her, then the man only that lay with her shall die. This is the situation we find ourselves in. We are placed in a place, have things going on that are forced upon us, right? Now, it's to be determined regarding each particular situation if it's anything that we could do to get out from under these things. But for the things that we cannot get out from under, and we desire to get out from under them, we desire to cry out, right? Then the judgment will fall on those who oppress us. But if they put things on us and we with it, or there is something we could do to come out from under it and we don't come out from under it, then the judgment would be upon both of us, like the previous verse states. But if the damsel, but unto the damsel thou shalt do nothing, there is in the damsel no sin worthy of death. For as a man, for as when a man riseth against his neighbor and slayeth him, even so is this matter. For he found a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed, and lay hold on her and lie with her, and they be found, then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife, because he hath humbled her, and he may not put. Listen, mandatory. You know why it's mandatory? Because they don't be having women alone out here. It was a shame for a woman to not be a virgin and to be in her parents' house. It's customary that she go off unto marriage and be kept. And like I said, we just a great ways from where our ancestors was. But even with these kinds of customs, you still had wicked people. You still had people that didn't have affection and care in their hearts for their neighbor. So it's like that's the real meat and potatoes of it. You know, that's where this thing about being reborn comes into play. At. True enough, you might not be a virgin. I don't think your hymen can be can be redone. You know what I'm talking about? But at the end of the day, you can realize the errors of your ways. You can humble yourself, repent, and turn from your wicked ways and seek the face of the Most High Yah. That He turn back to you, that He renew you and make you anew. You know, and that has to be the mindset we have to have. It should be a certain humbleness to come with that. You know, it's a lot of prideful people out here that speak about things as if they don't deserve to be killed, stoned because of some of the stuff they've done in their life. You know, we should all be more humble and more thankful to the Most High, more thankful to Yahushua HaMashiach, because you heard this stuff. You know what I'm saying? You heard this stuff. You get stoned for some of this stuff. I don't think I ever had a virgin. That's one thing about my life. I never had a virgin. I never broke any hymen. You know what I'm saying? Uh, but still, I've defiled men's wives. I definitely have. I have defiled women betrothed or engaged to other men. You know, I have taken my neighbor's things, my neighbor's possessions, right? All these things deserve punishments and judgments behind it. And you know, I'm so thankful to the Most High Yah that that this time frame in which these kind of things were done, that I wasn't there. You know, um, the shame and the ridicule and the outcasting that came with some of this stuff. Like, your parents wouldn't deal with you, even in some Eastern countries today. Like, you can't go sleep with somebody you're not married. Your daddy will never talk to you again. They'll disown you, cut you off from any inheritance, cut you off from any kind of benefit of being connected with them. They'll cut you off. This still happens today. But here we are. We go and make all these mistakes and do all this worldly evil stuff. And we just expect it to be understood because everybody else is doing it. Now, the world will understand it. The world is okay, yeah, cool. But when you start reading scriptures like this, you understand just how kind the Most High is and how favorable he is. But he's favorable to your ignorance, brothers and sisters, not to your knowing and understanding these things and still going out and doing them. Right? Let's just be mindful of this. Then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's fathers 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife, because he hath humbled her, and he may not put her away all his days. A man shall not take his father's wife, nor discover his father's skirt. Toda Yah, Toda Yah. That is the end of that. The end of that one. Hold on one second. Got a lot going on here. Need to get my computer checked out. Yeah, man. So I hope y'all was able to learn something from that. I hope you've been edified. Hope you've been uplifted. You know, I pray that if you came in late and you missed some of the show and you're joining me on the radio, you can find the full episode on the Life of an Israelite channel on YouTube, the Life of an Israelite channel on Facebook. You'd also find it on my page, Brandon Lewis, on Facebook. In my picture, in my profile picture, you'll see a crumbled up car. Because a year ago, yesterday, I was in that car, and it didn't go too well until much later. So yeah, that's me. Find me on Facebook. You can friend me on Facebook. I'm your op. I'm your strong defense. I'm your brother. I'm your mama. I'm your daddy. I'm that nigga and that. No, no, not today. But I'm your brother though. You know what I'm saying? I'm Yaki. Yaki. So send me a friend request if you haven't already. And I'm here to talk, to minister, to be of service. Hopefully you're not from some village with a orphanage. I don't know. It seems like everybody in Africa work at orphanage. I don't know what's going on with that. I need discernment on that because I want to help, but I don't want to be gotten over on. Don't want to be gamed. But anyway, I don't know why that came up. But I'm just saying, shoot me a friend request, and all the videos is on my page and everything, and you know, K for Yahoo, Yasharal, Shalom, Shalom. Hope you feeling better. My wasn't feeling well yesterday. I hope you feeling much better today. All praises to the Most High that He's alive and well today. All my brothers, everybody with breath in their lungs, Todai Rabah Abba Yah, for my brethren. May they get closer to perfection and closer to your to the ability to join your eternal Malkuth. So we gonna close this thing out, man. I pray y'all join me hopefully Sunday on the Script Talk podcast, all but willing that I'm able to see it. I hope to see you then. All praise to the Most High. Thanks to His Son Yahushua HaMashiach. You know it's 12 tribes, but it's one nation. This is my Ak Imanon Yasharala. Get up.
Lab tips. What we cooking? Okay, what more can I do to avoid these inner city blues? Got me packing the tool, losing my cool. Follow the path of the ancients, day by day, night by night. Meditate and I praise the Creator for sending the Savior. Every day His blessings are new, so I gotta get up early in the morning. Yeah, gotta sing praises, so I gotta get up. Yeah, gotta sing praises, hey, so I gotta get up. Yeah, early in the morning, gotta sing praises, hey, so I gotta get up early in the morning. Hey, yeah, gotta sing praises. So I wake up early in the morning. Yeah, kiss the blue skies, face the sunrise, clearing my mind. Yeah. When the enemy come to fight, and he throwing left and right, and I weaponize the praise, make the demons flee away. We're children of the light, I'ma praise with all my might. Every day His mercy is all new, so I gotta get up early in the morning. Gotta sing praises up. This how we cook it. Lab ticks, baby. Ice sounds. I wake up early in the morning. Praises to the King. I feel His ruach in my ruach. I can't help but dance, clap my hands, sing His praises. Light unto the world is not no fake illumination, no Illuminati. Just all my family, many members, one body. These holy convocations, feast of dedications, feast of tabernacles. Royalty, we show up. If blessings are coming down, you know the praise is going up. It ain't even hit noon yet. The elephant in the room yet. Lab ticks for cook up. We fellowship making moves. Time goes by, we praise Y'all. I got nothing else left to lose. So I exercise the greatest love, linking up with my bruise. Yeah, all praise to the Most High. As for living water, so He took me to the coastline. I can feel His power when I get inspired with dope rhymes. I can feel His presence when I ping songs. No ghost writer, man on fire, consuming fire. Get up, get up. In the morning, gotta sing praises up. Early in the morning, gotta sing praises up. Hold up, what more can I do to avoid breaking Yahuwah's rules? I must study to show myself approved. Hey, follow the path of the ancients, day by day, night by Savior. Every day His mercies are new. I got to get up, yeah. I got to get up, yeah. I got to get up, yeah. Gotta get up, hey, yeah. So I gotta get up. Gotta sit and praise. Hey, so I gotta get up, yeah. Gotta get up, yeah, yeah. So I gotta get up. Early in the morning, yeah. Early in the morning, gotta send praises up, yeah. Early in the morning, late in the day, baby. Late at night, baby. All praises to the Most High, yeah. Oh, gotta send praises. Oh, yeah. Early in the morning, giving all praise to the Most High. Yeah. Gotta send praises up. Text. What we doing? We cooking, baby. What we doing?